Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, Grand Fort Village Council divided over a vote of no confidence in the current chairperson. The DAT wants a limit placed on how long school facilities can be used as emergency shelters, and the National Basketball League could resume in the first quarter of 2018. The details coming up. Topping the news, controversies rocking the Grand Fort Village Council as some councillors are pushing a vote of no confidence against the current chairperson.
Councillor Julius Carbon recently tabled a vote of no confidence against the chairperson, Joanna Lockhart, which was seconded by another councillor. But a meeting to discuss the matter on Monday did not take place. While we did not reach Carbon for comment even after visiting his Grand Fort home, one of his colleague councillors who supports the vote of no confidence says Lockhart is taking decisions without consulting the entire body.
Joanna Lockhart, as the chairman of the Grand Fort Village Council, is doing everything on her own without consulting the council members. Buddy Phillip as an elected councillor, Nelisa Lawrence as an elected councillor, Titus Pascal as an elected councillor, and Julius Carbon as a nominated member from government, and even Keith Lazar, right, as a nominated member. We are the ones seeing that she's not doing the right thing to the village council.
Pascal accuses Lockhart of being an unfit leader.
It's just kind of chaos with her as chairman, and I feel that vote of confidence is really timing that, because if you have to do anything at a council level, you have to come and sit down and discuss with your councillors. Since the election of the village council, that has been going on. Okay. It has been going on, and even I advising her, you know, as an experienced councillor and so on. And, you know, she will not take this advice.
So what is your expectation from the vote of no confidence? Are you hoping that government can intervene?
That is why I am saying government should step in now. Local government should step in now and come and meet the rest of the councillors to hear their opinion.
Councillor Augustus Lewis, on the other hand, argues that the community is on Lockhart's side.
I have full confidence in the chairperson of the Grand Fort Village Council, because the Grand Fort Village Council was only inaugurated in August. And on the 12th of September was our first statutory meeting, which the same people who are trying to move the vote of no confidence in the chairperson tried to boycott that first statutory meeting of the council. Following that meeting, the 17th or the 18th came Maria. So in truth and in fact, I mean, there is no base to say you're going to move a confidence in a chairperson who has not done, council has not sit down and put a plan together and say, well, we asked the chairperson to do A, B, C, and she has failed. There is nothing like that.
Lewis believes that this is a personal attack on Lockhart.
This is just a personal thing that some people, they want to be in position, and then they're using the people that they think they're smarter than to come with them to try to do what they do. And even if you go to the community will tell you that they have full confidence in the chairperson of the council. So, I mean, this is just personal, and I hate it is happening in a community that was so united, and we have that division, and it has been there for some time, and we're really trying to get it out. But that clique wants to bring it. But I don't think they're going to be successful, because the community is not with them. It's 3 years. Let the council do what it has to do for 3 years, and then probably I can say probably a year later, if you feel that the chairperson is not doing what you ask her to do, then we could probably say, yes, let us move a vote of no confidence in the chairperson. But for now, that vote of no confidence should be against the people that move in the vote of no confidence. No.
Meantime, the chairperson of the Grand Fort Village Council, Joanna Lockhart, says she has no problem addressing the motion against her. Lockhart, who has served as a councillor in the past, is into her first term leading the village council.
Julius Carbon bringing his vote of no confidence in Joanna. He doesn't have any grounds. It's just some accusations he's making. And as the chairperson of the council, I have the full support of the village. And I know that's not going to go nowhere. The meeting was supposed to take place today. I informed the clerk that because of work, the meeting could not take place at 10 this morning. The meeting will be at 4 o'clock because it's only one item we have to discuss. It seems about 3 of them came to the meeting at 10 o'clock. So we came for 4 o'clock and they did not show up. So what I'm saying is that if you have your grounds, I mean, you live in Granford. It's not to say you're a person working out of Granford. You have grounds, you know what you're about. Just come to the meeting and let us discuss it, and then let me put my defense.
On claims that she has been taking decisions independently, she had this to say.
But when you have certain persons right in the community, especially when they are not in the leadership positions, they have problems with that.
Lockhart is concerned that government would be forced to intervene if the distraction continues.
It is disrupting the business of the village council.
Do you feel that this situation could erupt so much that to the extent that government will have to intervene?
Well, it can happen because I personally doesn't like it. If at every statutory meeting we have that confusion, because I said it to them once, I told them at our meeting that if you all do not want to work with me as the chairperson of the council, let me know. So we could inform the minister and then they could dissolve the council and let us see how many of us going to come back because we'll have fresh elections. But if that has to continue, it is not a nice situation and I don't, because I came there to serve my people.
In other news now, a local veteran musician believes reunion year 2018 should have paved the way for a shift in carnival celebrations to allow for a better product post-Hurricane Maria.
Norman Later, who is chairman of the Stardom Tent and Swinging Stars Band, says a change in date of carnival celebrations this year would have worked in the country's favor. While Later admits a preference for the traditional date of carnival celebrations, he feels this year should have been an experimental year in changing the carnival date.
I personally like it where it is. But what I'm saying is there's quite a few people who feel like it should be changed. So it would be a good time to try it. Because the Queen Show is going to be in April, the Teenage Pageant is going to be in April. So had they moved Carnival this year, everything would have fitted in. There's always talk about moving the date of Carnival. This year would be a good day a good year to try moving it, maybe on Easter Sundays, April 1st. So if you started the season April 1st, you could have Carnival on May Day weekend. Monday there, but so you'd have a month of preparation, but maybe other people didn't think so. But maybe it would have been a good opportunity to try it. It's too late now. We're full ahead.
Later is of the opinion that hosting Mass Dominique 2018 later in the year would get greater support from Dominicans both here and abroad.
Yes, man. Remember, it's a reunion year, and people would have more time, I suppose. So, but anyway, it will go fine, I think.
Mass Dominique 2018 will kick off with a street festival on 26th January and end with the Carnival Tuesday Street Jump Up on 13th February. Reporting for Channel 5 News, I am Andrea Louis.
And President of the Dominica Association of Teachers believes there should be a policy in place to ensure that schools do not serve as emergency shelters for extended periods. Andrea Louis has our report.
Celia Nicholas, who heads the DAT, expressed her frustration that some school buildings are still being used to house Hurricane Maria victims almost 4 months after the storm. Nicholas says the education of the nation's youth is vital in moving the country forward, and steps should be taken to have school buildings carry out their intended function of teaching children.
We have concerns too as a union. I mean, we are very concerned that people have lost their houses, people have lost their roofs, and people have nowhere to live. But we are double concerned that our students cannot get back to school because the schools are still occupied. One of the things I'm saying is that maybe we have to look into having resource centers you know, and avoid using the schools. So if we use the schools as shelter, we need to have a policy, because we are talking about Maria passed in September, yet this is January 2018, and some students have not gone to schools yet. I know the Ministry of Education, I know the Permanent Secretary, and they're trying their best, okay? But then it's a fight against the odds. So we have to think, we are saying we're going to make this country a resilient country. This is one of the things that we have to look at. If we say we are going to use schools, then there has to be a policy when the schools are occupied after the disaster, what happens to the teachers and the students.
Nicholas agrees with the country's move to become the first climate-resilient nation in the world and believes that special focus should be placed on ensuring climate-resilient buildings are constructed to shelter people during times of natural disaster.
Yes, we know people need shelter, but we have to take a stance as to what happens to the children. The children are on the road, and I feel for them, and I feel for some parents. We want the country to be a resilient country. So then where we have centers, because a lot of the communities have resource centers, then we'll have to build the resource centers in a way that we know that when a disaster is coming, this is where the people who need a shelter, they have to go to. Or if they have to go to the school, then we have to be cautious, because in some instances, the schools are there, people have occupied the schools, and on the school's ground, you have the children in tents. You know what I mean? The children are in tents and the individuals are there. So we have to balance it. We have to balance it.
The DAT boss pointed out that using schools as emergency shelters could compromise the safety of teachers who are committed to doing their jobs.
Some teachers are being threatened when they go to schools. Yes, some teachers are being threatened. By those occupying yes, some teachers are being threatened. They have come here, and we have been trying to, they have been threatened. And I mean, if people are willing to go and do their work and then they feel unsafe because individuals are threatening them, is very serious. Because I mean, the schools were vandalized. My school, Dominica Community High School, my office was totally vandalized. It was vandalized. It's no clear. I mean, I call it a conspiracy. It was vandalized. DAT, the office here, people went up. Nothing happened to it, but people sliced the door and they went into the building.
According to information from the Ministry of Education, the Trafalgar Primary School is still being used as a shelter, while individuals who were sheltering at other schools had moved out over the Christmas holiday. Reporting for Channel 5 News, I am Andrea Louis.
In other news developments, some Domlec customers who are privileged to have electricity restored at home post-Hurricane Maria may have also noticed a slight increase in the cost. Domlec's public relations officer says that is due to the fact that they are dealing with a smaller customer base post-Maria, which results in a higher fuel surcharge. With a larger customer base, the fuel surcharge would not have such an impact as it has now. The company's PRO has likened efforts to restore power to the island as climbing a mountain, but says significant progress has been achieved in powering up business districts in Roseau and Portsmouth. Inroads have also been made in returning power to a number of residential areas, but there's still a long way to go. The company's position is that the contribution being made by hydro seems to be helping to keep down the fuel surcharge.
We can say that we have very few or much less customers that we had prior to Maria on the grid. We are happy though that the hydro is on. We have the use of the hydro from the Trafalgar and the loader units. Padu is going to be out of commission for a while. Padu will probably begin to get some work done to Padu probably in the second quarter of this year. But for now, we have the hydro on, which is cushioning the effect of the fuel surcharge, because you will find that the more customers you have on the grid, the less the fuel surcharge, because the amount of fuel that you use to generate electricity. So the less customers you have, then the higher the fuel surcharge is going to be. So as we get more customers on the grid, then you'll see a reduction in the fuel surcharge.
Meantime, Domlec says it is not reconnecting homes without a secure roof. We asked a company representative whether they were reconnecting homes covered with tarpaulins.
The inspections of your home is being done by the electrical division. Persons are requested to go to the electrical division, which is now located on the 3rd floor of government headquarters. They give their name, contact number, address, basic information. The electrical division in turn will send a technician to your home to test your home for the readiness of power. Once you have passed, they will issue you with a certificate which you take to our Dominic office, where a case will be created for that customer and then dispatched to the men on the outside to be able to connect. So it is not a Dominic thing. Dominic just must have the certificate. Without the certificate, you will not get power. Persons with tarpaulins are not being certified because there's a tendency of water still coming through those tarpaulins, and that is you know, that is a cause for concern. You don't want to energize certain areas where you have water coming through sockets and lines and that kind of thing. So it is persons with tarpaulins are not being certified at this time.
And the first quarter of 2018 is being eyed as a tentative period to resume the National Basketball League in Dominica. President of the Dominica Amateur Basketball Association, Jerry Williams, says the passage of Maria brought an abrupt halt to the 2017 league. However, action in the National League is expected to begin in March.
In regards to the facility, I think the association had a meeting, the different associations had a meeting with the Ministry of Sports, the Minister of Sports, the PS, and then we basically gave an account of what happened in regards to the different facilities. Portsmouth is down because of the rim itself, that's the main thing that's down. The lights, some of the, I think, Joe Bob and some electricians placed back up the poles and stuff like that, they were down. In regards to Goodwill, one of the rims were damaged or twisted around. The light poles are down. Pishley is basically the surface and other stuff are good, but I think the surrounding has an issue. As we know, Massac is being used to store the light poles and stuff like that, and there are plans to have Massac up and running. Once those stuff are removed, the plans to cover it is still in the works. By March, if we have two facilities, as I said, Goodwill and Portsmouth, once we have those two facilities, we're good to go.
Williams says there is serious consideration being given to waiving the registration fee for the 2018 season, but this decision will be finalized at a later date.
Again, that's not a final decision. Okay. That is from my personal point of view, I think, because of the fact that the season was not completed, and then we're not continuing the season. I think the fairest thing is to waive registration. Okay. It may not happen, or the teams may feel, a way for the association and say, okay, yes, we will pay registration, but again, it's dependent on the final decision of the body itself.
Williams went on to say that while the international community had been empathetic to Dominica's plight, financial assistance was not forthcoming from the overseas-based entities.
It's just word of encouragement. That's basically it. As you know, FIBA and FIFA too, also different in regards to funding. FIBA is mainly supportive role in regards to basketball, administrative, but in regards to providing funding, that's a challenge, and has been a challenge even before Mario.
To end the news, a look at the headlines again. Grand Fort Village Council divided over a vote of no confidence in the current chairperson. The DAT wants a limit placed on how long school facilities can be used as emergency shelters, and the National Basketball League could resume in the first quarter of 2018. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can access our newscast on our YouTube channel and tdnentertainment.net. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Julian Morris, thanking you for watching. Join us tomorrow.